My name is Dave Tran, and this is LuxTV, shedding and spreading light for the chiropractic student. We have fledgling chiropractor Andrew McCracken calling from Auckland, New Zealand. He attends New Zealand College of Chiropractic. Andrew, welcome to LuxTV.
Thank you very much, Dave. It's good to be here.
Yeah, so let's get straight to it. First, congratulations on winning the Talk the TIC 2014. That's a tremendous award and a lot of hard work there. But before we get to that, could you share your chiropractic story and how you got started?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to. It seems to me that people at chiropractic college pretty much seem to fit into two categories. Either they're a chiropractic miracle case, or maybe they've grown up in a chiropractic family and have had chiropractic since birth. Mm-hmm. For me, I fit perfectly into this category. I knew nothing about chiropractic until I was 15 years old. And we were sort of forced to learn about it in a way, and we had to discover it ourselves. I got very sick when I was 15 years old, very sort of stressed out at school. I had dizziness and a lack of energy sort of slipping away for about 10 weeks. And that put me straight off school. And my mother was, what's going on to my son? We went through the GPs, the medical doctors, neurosurgeons, went straight through that whole system. And unfortunately, we couldn't get any answers. And they were very honest, and we appreciate it for that. They took every test under the sun, but they were all sort of negative. And they were very honest, and what we appreciate about it is that they said, look, we can't help you. We don't know what's going on. So, come back in 6 months if you still have this problem. Mm-hmm. So, we sort of got kicked out of the hospital and nowhere to go. We're like, all right, where are we going to go? How are we going to sort this thing out? How am I going to get fixed? But we decided to take that as a bit of a blessing, and we decided to go and explore some of the more alternative approaches. And chiropractic wasn't first on the list. We barely knew what chiropractic was. We started with things like osteopathy, actually. Went to physios, went to massage people, went to Reiki, went to acupuncture, everything we could think of that may have some chance of helping my body heal itself. And it was just by chance. One day, my mum was talking to someone that she didn't even know, and that lady had the courage to actually say, maybe you should take him to go see a chiropractor. Maybe you should go and see this chiropractor. And, I really thank that lady for that. I don't know the lady, and I'll never get to know her. But, she's the one who actually changed my path and allowed me to go and see this chiropractor. And I walked into the office, sort of head down, you're like, no hope. And within the first interaction with this chiropractor, because of her philosophy about the human body, because of what she believed, she knew that she could help in some way. She didn't say, we can fix you, we can do this, but we can help your body to be the best it can be. And because of that philosophy, it allowed her to give me hope. And from that, within 2 weeks, I was back at school at about 80%, and then back to 100, and probably back to 110, 120, where I'd never been before without chiropractic. So that's something I'm very grateful for, and to have that sort of experience has just solidified for me the power of chiropractic. And obviously learning about it now, you learn about the science, the philosophy, the art, and it's really stuck me on this journey, I'm just loving it.
Yeah, what a wonderful story. That's great. And I mentioned earlier that you recently just won the Talk the TIC 2014 out in Atlanta, Georgia. And
yes.
I had the opportunity to watch your 8-minute video and your award-winning health talk on chiropractic. It's definitely it was great. It was content rich. I mean, you packed in a lot of great stories and definitions and everything in 8 minutes, and that's no small task whatsoever. So how did you get involved with Talk the TIC?
Yeah, well, it was about a year and a half ago when I first got involved with Talk the TIC. And I sort of, I'm a big believer in you've got to sort of set out your goals for what you want to achieve and where you want to go. Because at least if you just have a little idea, you'll be sort of drawn to that path. And I sort of sat down when I first got to chiropractic college about a year and a half ago, and I said, one thing I want to be is I want to be able to speak about chiropractic, and I want to actually be able to do that overseas. And so I wrote that down, not knowing how that would happen, but then this little email came around about Talk the TIC, and I thought, well, what's that?
Mm-hmm.
And it had the progression from, if you win the New Zealand one, you get to go to the Australasian one in Melbourne in Australia and present at DG. And I thought, oh, that's pretty cool if you get to do that. And then eventually, far out in the distance, which I thought was never achievable, would be to actually go to America, and compete there against the people in the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So this little flyer came around, and I thought, let's give it a go, and let's do the best that we can. And it was great. The biggest thing for me is it's such a learning experience. So just by having only 5 minutes to start. So for the first 2 competitions, you only had 5 minutes,
mm-hmm.
and you had to try and cover off everything about chiropractic in 5 minutes, and that's pretty hard. So I had to read a few things. The book by Virgil Tran, The Essential Principles of Chiropractic,
mm-hmm.
with that, and so the power of what we do when we communicate is simplicity. And so that was fantastic. And so to eventually be able to this journey for me started 1.5 years ago, to then end up winning the New Zealand one, go to Australia and do the Australasian one, which was a fantastic experience and dynamic growth,
mm-hmm.
and then to go all the way to Life University in Atlanta, Georgia, all the way from New Zealand is something I thought I'd never be able to do. So yeah, it was fantastic.
Yeah. So what were your biggest takeaways from competing in Talk the TIC?
Well, a big bonus of Talk the TIC was being able to go to these seminars, and from these seminars you got to learn from different chiropractors and learn sort of, you get to see the gap between you and them, but then you get to see how you can sort of close that gap. So that was huge for me, but it was really probably a confidence building opportunity to actually say, look, anyone can talk about chiropractic in a fantastic way, because the people who were in the competition were fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get to see on YouTube, there's the finalists from Life University, the finalists who were at Life University from all around the world. They're all great, and they were all great in Australia, and they were all great at NZCC. So it sort of inspired me to realize that this profession is on the right track.
Mm-hmm.
People can talk about chiropractic in an effective way, and that's where we need to start. So.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, I saw some of your pictures and followed along on Facebook, so it was great. And last but not least, what would be your greatest advice for a chiropractic student right now?
My greatest advice for a chiropractic student?
Mm-hmm.
Well, number one, pass all your papers.
Exactly right.
That's got to be number one. But I think sometimes we can sort of get a bit lost. You can become, especially early on in the early years, you can get a bit disconnected from that final goal, which is to be an awesome chiropractor. And one way that I've found that's really helped me to connect with that is to go in and go to these seminars. I'm the president of the Philosophy Club, along with Christina Wiggers from the New Zealand College of Chiropractic, and we get speakers in from outside who are successful in whatever area they do, and being able to connect with their passion just allows you to be inspired from the inside out.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows you to sort of see the bigger picture. And I believe once you see that bigger picture, it's going to draw you to go and do those little things like, studying for that pathology test or doing the little hard yards.
Exactly.
So a big thing for me is definitely just trying to connect with people in the profession, because I've been surprised at how grateful and willing with their time these chiropractors are to actually help young people on their path. Mm-hmm. So that's got to be the biggest thing you can do as a chiropractic student.
That's wonderful. Andrew, thank you so much for sharing your light with us today. If you want more information or want to connect with Andrew directly, check out the links below. Every week I will be uploading a new interview with another leader in the chiropractic profession. If you like this video, please share it with your classmates, give this video a thumbs up, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. My name is Dave Tran, and this was LuxTV, shedding and spreading light for the chiropractic